Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Powertime Practice here at Pillai Center Practice YouTube on Saturday, May 22nd, 2021. My name is Sutrita, for those of you who don't know me, wishing you all a very warm welcome. It is always a pleasure to be of service and support and guide everyone to get the most out of Dr. Pillai's teachings. And this week is a big power time coming up on Monday and Tuesday. There are two archetypal beings. One is a lion-faced being who is called Narasimha. So Nara means face and Simha means lion. And so this lion-faced being is something that we can relate to, in that we need to roar like a lion to get rid of the negative congested energies that are ruling our lives, and the ego gets to be quite out of control. So this archetypal being is readily available in the cosmos that we can align with the energy and then get the blessings to destroy any kind of negativity, such as debts and people who are jealous of us, people who are envious of, or we might be jealous or envious of others. So it is going to be on the 24th of May. And it is, as Dr. Pillai shares, Narasimha is a half lion, half man being, is an angel who comes and rescues people in difficulty. So he appears as fire, and we've got lots of candles burning today. And he has very frightening look to scare away those negative forces. Even the god of death is afraid of him. So the god Yama, the god of death, the god of Dharma, comes, and he's like, oh my goodness, Narasimha is pretty scary. So he will protect you from diseases as well. So he's a guardian angel, and he's the fourth avatar of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu has 9 avatars. The 10th one is coming in the golden age, and Narasimha is the 4th avatar. So he destroys your enemies or competitors or rivals. He eradicates evil forces and negativity, fulfills your earnest wishes. So not just these neurotic, please help me, but actually the prayers that go out all the time as you are trying to move towards your goals, manifest, feel success in those small steps, and then ultimately reach the goal of your heart's desires. So he's also the great protector, who is again the form of the lion man with a lion face and a human-like torso. According to the sacred texts, if you propitiate him during his birthday, so it's a birth of his energy into the earth plane, and we get invited to the party. So we have to know how to honor this being, and we're going to do that today as well. We're going to participate in an actual practice, so you know what to do on his birthday to receive his blessings. So there can be rituals that you can participate in. Again, we'll go through a ritual, and then he will protect you with victory, success, protection, and prosperity. So to receive his greatest blessings, if you can, if it fits into your budget, Astroved Pillai Center are offering these beautiful chanting to different types of Narasimha. So there's a debt clearing Narasimha, and there is a victory granting Narasimha, and then there's all kinds of things like Jaggery water, things that we can't necessarily do on our own. We wouldn't even know how to do it. So it can be done on our behalf via proxy. So according to the traditional practices Dr. Pillai shares, it's believed that performing these powerful ceremonies on Narasimha's birthday can destroy negativity and bless you with overall prosperity, victory, protection, and clearing debts. So once again, in a nutshell, Narasimha, this lion-headed being, and we have a statue that I'll show you momentarily. You can get his divine protection, prosperity, and victory. He bestows good health. So we all want good health. We want to have good mental health as well. We don't want to be afraid. Geez, during COVID lockdown here in Toronto, Canada, we've been going over for, I think this is about over a year now, that we've been in lockdown. We had a little bit of reprieve, but then the numbers went up of COVID infected people and deaths. And so they said, all right, lockdown again. So we've been, really struggling with our who, what, where, when, why questions and all those thoughts that are swirling around. Will we ever have a normal, and what will that new normal be? So we want to have good mental health, happiness, joy, and then the physical body will be strong. Instead of sitting around locked in, we want to be outdoors. We want to be going back to the gym. We want to be going to our yoga classes or just being out in nature. So that is something that we can pray to Narasimha. This is real time needs and desires. So, and they are good ones. They're not neurotic prayers. So praying for good health and wealth, overall wealth. So he also removes sins. So sins, as Dr. Pillai shares, a sin is missing the mark. We just missed out. So it's not so much a morality issue. It's more of the mistakes that we made. And it's, darn, I wish I wouldn't have done that. So he also destroys obstacles or impediments. He clears these mistakes that we've made, and he grants salvation. So we don't have to go through guilt and shame and, oh my God, if anyone finds out, or anger. So Narasimha's a lion, right? He roars. And so he will roar so loud and so deeply inside of us, outside of us, all around us, from the cosmos, that we will be shaken to the core and root out deep-seated anger or frustration. So he's the God to get rid of anger. And we all have it. And we're just like, oh gosh, I can't put on this happy-go-lucky spiritual face and not have anger. This is part of being human. So he knows that. And he says, all right, you can have appropriate anger, because we all have to have these appropriate emotions at the time. You don't want to just go, oh, it's okay. You can throw, whatever at me and sticks and stones. And I'll just say, okay, or I'll just turn the other cheek and you can hit both. That was a Jesus thing. He was quite an evolved being, and we aren't quite there yet. So how do we not push that anger down with a smile on our face, faking it? It will creep up, or it will manifest as disease and perhaps disease. So disease of the body and dis-ease of the mind. So he will help to clear that out and get rid of that deep-seated anger that we just push down. Or we're just raging all the time. Anyone gives us a dirty look and we're like, bah! So he will help to get rid of that, balance it all out. He'll help to overcome fear, and then relationship bickering, fighting for no reason. And you can't seem to have a peaceful, harmonious interaction with anyone, let alone yourself. So he will help to smooth that out. He also helps in career growth and business development, especially real estate. So if you're selling a house, or you're buying a house, or you're selling land or property or condo, whatever it is, that's real estate. And that is something that he will help you to get those issues resolved if there are any. And he will help to remove the obstacles so everything can go smoothly and quickly. So he also helps to mitigate planetary afflictions. So what is an affliction? It's something that is just like you're cursed. You just can't come out of it. And so many people say, I don't really know what curse is, but I feel like I'm cursed. I feel like every which way I turn, I cannot find a way out of the problem. So he will help with that. And then he wards off evil forces or evil eye, and then gives all around victory and divine protection. So he's a divine protector. He will roar like a lion, and he will scare away those dark forces that have been impeding our progress. So if you go on to Pillai Center, Ashraved, you can read all about the different types of Narasimha. There's Lakshmi Narasimha, there's Yoga Narasimha, Dwala Narasimha, Ugra Narasimha, Veera Narasimha. And then underneath each one, there's an explanation of the type of energy that is surrounding that being. So check it out. If you can participate in it, that would be super, super awesome. Then the next day we have on the full moon, there's a full moon every month. And so there's 12 or 13 full moons in a year. And this one is a powerful full moon because it also aligns with Lord Moroga. And Lord Moroga is the god of the third eye. So people say, how do I know how to open my third eye? And then when will I know that it's open? So getting the blessings of the god of the third eye, you will know, and you will, what he does is he helps to get rid of enemies, diseases, debts, litigation. He's a spiritual warrior. So he wants you to be aligning with his energy so you can align with your chakras. His sacred weapon is the veil. So this is the lance or spear of Lord Moroga, and it represents Om. So Om is omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, and it is God consciousness. So we're here lifetime after lifetime. We come to the earth plane because this is the plane where we can do rituals. You don't have to do rituals anywhere else. So the earth plane is where the soul says, hey, I want to go and get rid of the sins that I've carried over, or the sins that I've inherited from the ancestors, or planetary afflictions. So that which you can't dissolve away, but there's always a solution, a spiritual solution. So this veil, it represents your backbone by the shaft of the veil. So this handle of the veil, and then the head of the veil or the spear is the brain. And then inside, right in the middle, is the third eye. So if you line it up like this, you're going to activate all the chakras. So the energy comes up and then pops the third eye. So the third eye is associated with the pineal gland, the pituitary as well. People always ask that question. Is it the pituitary? Is it the pineal? Is it the cerebellum? What is it? And it is all of the above, although the pineal gland is where the super secrets are, let's just say. And this is a pine cone, and it represents the pineal gland. So if you have a pine cone, or you can see here behind me, I have a huge pine cone, a bowl of pine cones, and just having them in your space can help you to think about the mantras that when you're calling on Lord Moroga, we're going to focus on the spot between our two eyebrows, and then just about 1.5 inches above that spot in the middle of the forehead. And that will activate the pituitary and the pineal, as well as the pineal is close in relation to the cerebellum, and the cerebellum is packed with neurons. So the neurons are firing in there, has even more neurons that are in that chunk of mushroom shaped cerebrum on top of it. So we want to get into the middle of our head and then go deep into the pituitary, pineal gland, and the cerebellum, and feel the balance of the divine and the human doing a little dance. So if you have a pine cone, some of us received a pine cone from Dr. Pillai in Mount Shasta that he had blessed. I believe it was Mount Shasta, or maybe it was San Diego. I can't really remember because I've been to so many events over the years. But having that and then holding on to it, put it in your hand and feel it in your chakras, or you can have it in your left hand, in your palm, and then put your hand over top. And then as you're praying, you can feel the energy activating the third eye, the pineal gland in the middle of your brain. So if you're out in nature and you happen to be attracted to a pine cone, it can be any size. You can Google it and see that there are all kinds of different shapes and sizes. So don't stress out. Oh my God, it doesn't look like the one Sutrita has here. But you can just see what resonates with you. See what the divine is going to be drawing you or pulling you to go and check it out, and then take it with you and feel the energy, and then focus on the third eye, which we will do. So this veil is really great. It's a lance or a spear. So it's a great reminder to do our spiritual practices to clear out the chakras, the psycho-spiritual centers that are stacked up on top of one another in the spine. And then all that energy gets moved up from the base of the spine into the third eye. That's how we open the third eye. And then we keep that energy up inside of the middle part of our brain. And then as we're doing our meditations, as we're participating in, perhaps some of you might want to explore Pillai Center Academy. And there's a Narasimha course where you can get initiated into the mantras and the meditation practices for Narasimha, and then do that on his birthday and then practice it thereafter. There are power times in which you can do that as well. So that's a course that is right now available in Pillai Center Academy. And then there are so many different Moroga courses. So he is the god of the Pleiades. So the Pleiadian energy, it's a star constellation right now where the earth is aligned with that energy. And it's interesting because Lord Moroga is the god, the general of the army of divine beings in the Pleiadian army. So he is the one who is, his energy is very, very strong. And Dr. Pillai has really got an intimate relationship with Lord Moroga. In fact, one of Dr. Pillai's given names, his biological birth names and legal name, is associated with Lord Moroga. So he is, and he needs it as well, because we all need to have that energy of spiritual warriors. Our chakras need to be cleared out, because they're not just energy centers. They are how we absorb thoughts in our environment. Maybe not even our thoughts, but we create a vacuum. When we clear something out, it creates a space. So whoever we're interacting with, whether we're with them in one-to-one, or whether we're talking on the phone, or whether we're working with them online, or whether we're thinking about them or they are thinking about us, that energy starts to congest inside of us. So we always wonder, why do I feel so sluggish, or my energy is low after I talk to some people, or I interact with some people, or I think about some people? Why am I fearful? So all these thoughts are energies, and they will get congested. They'll get stuck in the chakras, the psycho-spiritual centers. So our psychology is not even in our brain yet. We haven't even gotten up that far, but we absorbed in the lower chakras, and then our heart gets congested. We feel heart pain of others. It's okay to be empathetic, but then to be a psychic sponge, that's kind of overload, right? So Lord Moroga, as Dr. Pillai shares, if you take this veil and you just can maybe every day, he says, take it and pour some water. So you can pour spring water that you haven't drank from a bottle, or under a tap. If you have tap water, that's fine too. And then you just imagine your chakras getting cleared, and then feeling that energy coming up to the third eye. So we want the energy always to be up. Even when we're listening now, we're just hanging out with everyone here, we want to be focusing on the middle part of your brain, so that you just focus on this midpoint, and then imagine going into the middle part of your brain. So you can take also a lemon or a lime, which I'm going to do right now. And I do this on every call. I just wanted to wait a little bit until we started. So you can take the veil, the spear. So veil is V-E-L, or whale in Tamil. And then, or it's the spear or the lance of Lord Moroga. So you can take it and just pierce the skin. And you have to use a little bit of force, a little bit of might, but just doing that, just that act is going to remove any negative congested energies. It's going to create like a psychic shield around the space that you're in. So you can just have that after you wash the veil with some water. You can even pour some milk on it, or juice if you have that, and you don't have to pour tons on. It can just be a little bit. And how you will know is you will start to feel the energy in your chakras and also in the middle of your brain. Some people may have felt that just by viewing me doing the piercing of the veil. And so what do? You just leave it here on your desk. So I have a little setup here that I'll show you in a bit. So you can just leave it, and then it can be on your desk as well. If you're working away, you can have it there, and it will remind you. People put it in their car. They pierce it with a veil. Maybe they have a smaller veil. This is a smaller. I believe this one's a 5 metal one. It's a small veil, and it also, you can get it in copper. So you can imagine, again, there it is right in your third eye, and all the energy is coming up. And then the tip is going to pierce the crown chakra, and then you're going to have that clear energy connection, like a divine Wi-Fi connection to the cosmos. So Lord Moroga's birthday is a really great time to birth his consciousness into you. And he gets rid of enemies, diseases, debts, litigation. So anyone who has legal issues, credit card debts, oh my God, carry a veil in your wallet or your purse, or have it in a pocket, in your coat pocket. So I have many veils over the years. I've collected them in there. There's one in every pocket that I have in the closet, in the coat closet. And then, in the summertime when I don't need to wear a coat, then I can carry it in my hand, or I will have it in, a pants pocket, or some tights that have those little pockets in there. And it just will create that psychic protection. So that's what Dr. Pillai says. These are psychic weapons. They're not like I would take it out and go, ooh, I'm going to stab you. You don't want to do that. You just want to have it, because he says, once you have this, Lord Moroga comes. So it's like a key that unlocks the secret of your connection to Lord Moroga. So again, he is the spiritual warrior. He's associated with the Pleiadian energy. You can Google Pleiadians, and it's a very healing energy. There are a lot of archetypes that are associated with the Pleiades. So it's a star constellation that the Earth plane now is totally surrounded by, and will continue to be. And it's interesting because it's come at a time where we can't be having wars and blowing each other up and poisoning one another and hating one another. We have to evolve. So this spiritual warrior, which he is, he's going to wake up that energy inside of us to be courageous and brave and go for it. Be bold and be brave and not arrogant, but just know that, if I have this divine being, then my third eye is activated. When the third eye is activated, then you are in the right place at the right time, thinking, saying, and doing the right thing. And he will also give you great leadership skills. And you will think, oh, I'm never going to be promoted, or my boss doesn't like me, or I'm never going to have a successful business, or it's such a struggle. He will just erase that negative pattern that you keep saying over and over, or others keep saying that, or they send thoughts to you hoping you fail for some reason. Gosh, why do people do that? We don't know. Karma, right? So he gets rid of karma. So he's the God who gets rid of karma. And how he does it is that he will help you to always stay in this divine Wi-Fi connection. And this is the key, or this is the passcode, the username and passcode. So simply saying his name, Dr. Pillai says, say his name once, Moroga, and instantaneously, if you focus on the third eye, you will start to feel him. So both these divine beings are really going to empower us to scare away all those negative forces and help to protect us, give us the courage, the strength, and roar like a lion and not be a lamb or a sheep anymore in life, and not be arrogant, because definitely Narasimha will root out arrogance and ego that says, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, and also that victim consciousness. So that over the big ego versus that little ego that people think, oh my goodness, no, I'm the victim of the circumstance. And yet that can be a big ego too, can be a big ego trip. So the ego, again, is edging God out. So we don't want to put God in the periphery. We want to bring God forward. So which God? Which archetypal being? And these are the ones who we can call on here today. Have a little meditation, of course, with Dr. Pillai's grace and blessings. And then we will do a little bit of an exercise that will help us to understand that all the elements that make up every single human being, so all the cells, all the DNA, all the light and love and emotions and our mental, physical, energetic body, our soul is made up of these 5 elements. And then we have these astral body aspects, these layers or koshas, these layers of body that is beyond. So there are layers of consciousness inside of us and also outside of us. And then the cosmos, all these divine beings who are non-physical, are made up of 5 elements. And so these 5 elements are earth, water, fire, air, and space, or ether, Akash. We want to erase the Akashic records that are no longer serving us, and we want to get the blessings of the Akashic records that are fabulous, we've had in fabulous lifetimes. So we want to get access to that consciousness and then live that energy, that life. Not the lifetime, but live those thoughts, prosperous thoughts. Royalty consciousness is also Narasimha. He's the king of the jungle. So the lion is the king of the jungle. So we want to be that king or that queen or the royalty, feel that regal sense of our sovereign selves is our soul self. It's not necessarily wearing a crown and sitting on a throne, but our sovereign right is to express God consciousness, our highest manifestation of our soul's consciousness. And how we do that is we feed our soul at the times where there's a tremendous amount of power and energy, and that empowers us. So it doesn't make us to feel like powering over anyone. It empowers us such that we are bright, shiny beings, and we align with these shiny beings called devas or devis or gods, goddesses, and archetypes. And then when we do it on these days where they can really, we can really feel their energy, then for that whole year until we meet up again for their birth into the earth plane, and we align with the cosmic birth day that is going on there, then we can feel, we can soak it up like a sponge and feel even a greater connection from year to year. So that's what we're here to do, is remind everyone to not miss these power times that you would if you didn't know about it. So the more knowledge you have, then you can govern yourselves accordingly. And if you really are feeling like in a funk, this is something that Dr. Pillai has shared. You just start chanting mantras or offer these beings what they want. So the humans and the archetypes, they're the divine beings across the cultures, across the traditions, across the religious traditions that we know of in this lifetime. Probably there were many more in other lifetimes or less, more or less. But that doesn't matter. It's those across the cultures, across the traditions, there was a covenant between the humans and these divine beings. And the covenant was, hey, you give us what we want and we'll give you what you want. So that's how we're going to continually evolve, because karma is a never-ending story. It doesn't matter how evolved you are. Even if you're the Buddha or Christ, look what you got to do. You still have to come to the earth plane, not because you are kicking and screaming. It's because your soul is evolved and you want to help everyone on the earth plane to evolve. So we don't want to blink and miss it. This is the lifetime. It could be the lifetime for you where you can experience the golden age, the third eye opening, and not too much effort. So when we call on these divine beings, they're going to root out that negative congested energy and then all around us. And we will, and from the planets as well, if you pray to these beings as well, Lord Moroga will calm the planets down. So Lord Narasimha is going to calm the planets, and Lord Moroga is going to calm the planets. The full moon is that moon of prosperity, health, wealth, well-being. So you're really going to feel it. You won't blink and miss it. So we have 5 elements. One is earth, one is water, one is fire, one is air, and the other is the space, the akash or ether, as I mentioned earlier. And then we have items that we will offer that represent each of those 5 elements. So we have, today we've got a lovely mango, and both Ganesha and Lord Moroga love the mango, so we'll give that. And then you could give any kind of fruit. You could even give a raisin or a little piece of chocolate or some trail mix, some food that you haven't eaten and you want to offer it with your heart. And so it doesn't really matter what it is. He loves the color red. Both like the color red and bright orange. You can see with the altar cloth is this bright orange, and then there's red in the background to remind you. So you can, if you wear red, even if that's not your favorite color, something red, maybe you have a red swatch of cloth and you put it in your pocket or in your purse or somewhere nearby, and it will remind you. You can cut out a sticky note that's red and just put it on, somewhere where you see it, and that will remind you to align with these beings. So red gets you ready and fired up. Then we have the water that we offer. So we go from earth to water and then fire. So you can offer a candle. It can be a red candle. I have different colored candles. I don't know why they all came out today, but there's 6 of them. And that is a number that's associated with Lord Moroga and the chakras and the parts of the brain, front of the brain, back of the brain, sides of the brain, top of the brain, and the inside of the brain, the third eye. So that's one of the secrets of Lord Moroga. Not only does he activate the chakras, he activates all the parts of the brain, the 6 parts of the brain. So we've got the fire to get you fired up. We're going to be offering the ghee lamp, so you can offer that as the fire element is represented by that. And then you have the air element, which is the incense. So if you have a Mars incense stick, then you can use that. You can get it through Ashraveda Reply Center, the 9 planets incense. And so you can offer that. It's like having a mini fire lab. And maybe we'll even do a little bit of a mini fire lab with the ghee lamp. We'll offer some ghee into the fire as we're going through this elementalization or puja offering, archana, and activation. So we've got the air element. So we've got earth, water, fire, air, and then we've got the space, the ether. So what do we offer? Space? No, we offer a flower. So if you have a red flower, you can offer that. We have lots of different flowers. If you even have this color, that's kind of cool too. You can offer roses, any kind of flower is fine. So I know from the Indian tradition, there are certain types of flowers. The gods love certain types of flowers, but here in Canada, we can't get those flowers. So you can, and maybe if you're from the States or from anywhere in between here and India, don't stress that you can't offer the types of flowers specific to those archetypes. Just offering it with love is going to be wonderful. So why the flower is because the flower, when you just give, you say, oh, would you like a flower? And right away you light up. So there's some metaphysical response. It's some transference of an energy that is associated like a divine text message. So you can think of the flower as a divine text message. Zing, it goes right to the divine, and it bypasses the logical mind that says, oh, I really want this to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. So it just goes ping right away. It says it goes beyond your words, beyond your thoughts. Or even if you say the thoughts that you say are thinking, then you give this flower and the flower knows, no. They just want it to manifest and then it will erase that negativity. So it will protect your prayers or your intentions, your thoughts, and as they go to the archetype. So once you offer it, and you're going to feel that when we get into the elementalization or the puja offering, and then offering the light to the divine beings. We have Narasimha here. So this is Narasimha. I'll give you a little bit of an up close and personal. So he's a lion. You can see him. He's a lion head. He's got the fangs there. He's even got some claws on his fingers. He's in yoga position. So there's different types. So he's not so ferocious, but he will help you to focus on your meditation and your spiritual practices to make you to be a spiritual warrior, not necessarily go out and roar like a lion and or sit on a throne and to get that royalty consciousness or the sovereignty of your soul being expressed. And then if you have these little guys, over the years, I've participated in services that are offered through Pillai Center and Ashraved, and then they send me these energized little statues. So this one is like, it can fit into the palm of my hand. So that's the size of him, and he's a standing one. And I always have him with a Lakshmi. So Lakshmi is the goddess of prosperity. And why with Narasimha? Because Narasimha is a avatar of Lord Vishnu, who is the consort of Lakshmi. So if you have Narasimha, you can have a Lakshmi with him as well. So he's got one hanging there with him, hanging out with him. And then here's another one. This is a small version. So when you have these small ones, you can put them in your hands and you can have this energy in the palm of your hands. And when you're meditating, you really feel this groundedness. You're not kind of spacing out. You're really feeling the energy. And then the palms of your hands have tremendous chakras. And then they will transmit that energy to the third eye. So again, how do I open my third eye? These are all ways in which you do it. So, and cumulatively, you will know, oh, I'm working at it from all the different angles. And that is what is going to make the divine being really happy and you not bored. That's the worst thing, right? We do something and then we're just so bored. So trying out these different ways in which we can access these divine beings. This is Narasimha. Again, he's got a goddess sitting on his lap, and that's Lakshmi. So you can have that. There's also yantras. Those are sacred geometry. I didn't want to pull everything out. I think I overwhelmed everyone last week. Although some of you shared your feedback and said that was a lot of fun. And we like to do that every now and then, is to kind of shake things up and go, whoa, look at it all, how it all fits together. So if you missed that, watching that recording live, or you weren't able to attend live, then go ahead and review it. So this is a form of Moroga. And I don't want to pick him up because, well, I guess I could. He's kind of heavy, but why not? So he is, he's got 6 heads. So I'm just going to do a little twirling of him just to show you how wonderful this statue is and the energy that you can feel and all these weapons he has in the 12 arms. So he's got 6 heads and 12 arms. And people always say it's so weird, the Hinduism has the gods have all these heads and arms and things like that. Well, back then when we didn't have the internet and we didn't have statues and it was just nature, and these sages, these siddhas, they would go up to the mountain tops because that's how they were closer to the stars and the planets and so on. And then they started to really meditate. And the higher they go up, the less oxygen there is. So it was easy to get in those altered states. And then, so they started to really pray. We've got to help the people. We got to bring the rains. We got to feed the people. We got to have protection for the people. So these divine beings would show up, and then they didn't know how to draw the energies, all these weapons that they had. So they just put a weapon in each hand. And then the different heads were these different aspects of the being, or in this case, this represents the 5 parts of the brain. So the heads represent the major parts of your brain that need to get activated. And when all, this is 6 parts, I think I said 5, so it's 6. And 6 is a number that's associated with Lord Moroga. So 6 chakras, 6 parts of the brain. You've got the 12 arms with all the weapons. He's got a veil, and this flag of victory has the rooster on it. And there's lots of stories that we've shared over the years in Pillai Center Practice YouTube, so you can check that out, or you can read it, you can Google it. We have the Lord Moroga is associated with the peacock. So the peacock and the rooster essentially were a demon, and then they got defeated by Lord Moroga, and they wanted to be with Lord Moroga forever. So this big, huge demon split itself up into a peacock that represents miracles and Om. And then also, because the peacock feathers have looks like the third eye. I think we have one here. So you can see this beautiful image of the peacock feather, and look at, there it is. There's the third eye. So having the peacock, it will remind you to go to miracle consciousness, get into miracle consciousness, get into your mantras, get into Lord Moroga's energy and his grace and his blessings, participate on his birthday or those power times that are associated with Lord Moroga. So he's got the victory flag, and that's where the rooster went. He was the other part of the demon that split in half. And like a rooster does, be in those between the night, as it comes into the daytime, you hear the rooster crow right before the sunrise, because it's screaming out away at those forces that are in the dark and saying, hey, it's daytime, stay away from everybody, because they got to get to work and do whatever they got to do. So he will protect you. And his kukata rooster homas are really cool to participate in. And during Lord Moroga's birthday, and the chanting is just quite incredible. It even sounds like a rooster crowing. So when you're doing the chant or listening to the priests chant it. So this will help to activate the chakras. It will help to clear out all the confusion in your mind. It will help to empower your brain, so you have that holistic brain, that holistic thinking. And when you do, and you're alert, then it's like a miracle happens. You just don't even do anything, and there you are. Nobody can disturb you. Nobody can upset you. And you have this energy, this intelligence, and you have overcome your anger issues or your frustration or even depression, because Lord Moroga is all about bringing the energy up, so you don't feel the energy being depressed down. So depression is low energy when you're feeling blue. So you want to feel red and get ready for the miracles. So that is Lord Moroga. Now the power times, let's talk a little bit about the power times. So this is one image of Lord Moroga, and this is another image of Lord Moroga, and he's a little guy. He's always quite fun for me to handle him, and he reminds me to be really patient because his veil goes flying all the time. So it's quite a delicate one, but again, look at it. It's pint size, it's hand size. So you can have him, on your desk, or you can carry him in your purse or your pants pocket if you'd like. We always say with these sacred objects, put them in a little pouch or some cloth to wrap them up, and so they don't fall out, they don't slip out. So they have a little bit of friction and a little bit of protection while they're in while you're carrying them. And then you can have them in your car as well. They will protect you from accidents, because the Lord Moroga does that as well, protects you from accidents that can turn into litigations. So you can have these little ones, and here's a tiny, tiny one. Oh, it's a lot of energy going on here. So this is a good indication that they don't like to be moved around a lot. So this is something that we will always say to people, treat them with respect, and then just know that maybe there's some negative energy that's around you, and that's how I'm communing with these divine beings. So I have to be very careful. So that is something that, it's not like you have to know exactly the mantras or how to do everything. With Dr. Pillai's grace and blessings, just participating in this will wake something up inside of you, such that when Narasimha's birthday comes, when Lord Moroga's birthday comes, then you will know, oh my goodness, this is the energy that perhaps I tapped into a little bit, or maybe you really went for a deep dive and you had a great experience. Then on the days, their power days, you might feel, some people feel like there is pain in their head, or they feel out of sorts, or they feel a spinning energy, or they feel dizzy, or they feel something in the body, or they're irritated. And then they look at those 2 days and they say, oh my goodness, yes, because the negative energy is being stirred up. And all I need to do is honor these beings. And it's so simple. You can honor them at home, offering them the different items, or you can just watch this again, fast forward it to this point in time where we're just about to dive into offering these different items, and that will activate the chakras inside of us. And once we activate those chakras, we align with their energies. So that's the divine covenant between the humans and these divine beings. So when we do something, just like we would offer, help to someone in need, then they are so happy, and that makes our hearts sing. We don't necessarily want anything in return. It's just that we will feel this divine energy waking up inside of us, and that's how we know we're evolving. When we do the right thing, we feel, and things start to open up for us in a whole different way, less struggle, more grace and ease. So the god of the third eye, this Lord Moroga, and then Narasimha, will give us that experience of moving through our challenges, or breaking through our challenges with grace and ease. And of course, we have Dr. Pillai's blessings to do it in a way that maybe not necessarily the Vedic specialist or the priest would do it, but this is the way that Dr. Pillai has ordained for us to do. So no hard or fast rules. You can try it out on your own, or you can watch it and then playing the mantra or meditating to the different YouTubes that Dr. Pillai has put out on these two divine beings. If you participate in the Pillai Center Academy courses, then you can also be initiated by Dr. Pillai through the teachings that are offered there. And then you can also participate in the fire labs or the chanting sessions that are going to go on in India on our behalf. When we participate in a proxy way, our name will be called out by the priest, and also our birth star. And that's the star of the energy, that divinity that is our birthright. So we'll feel that birthing of our connection to the birthing of these divine beings as we participate. So there's something special about that full moon as well. It's also on a Tuesday, and Tuesday is a power day for Lord Moroga. So the power times for Lord Moroga are Tuesdays, also his birthday, and then his star day, so Vishaka star, and also star is Kritika star. So Kritika star and Vishaka star are the stars for Lord Moroga. That if you go to Ashraved.com, or you can get the celestial calendar, the Ashraved calendar through Pillai Center as well, or you can get the app Hora Watch, and you can, or the Panchang, and then you can find out when Mars horas are, Kritika stars and Vishaka stars are on those days, and then you can do your Moroga chanting or meditating or honoring Lord Moroga in any which way you can. However, don't just leave it to Tuesdays or Mars horas or Mars ruled stars. You can do it every day, honoring Lord Moroga, because he is the energy of the Pleiades, and we are here on the earth plane aligned with that energy, which is a tremendous amount of healing energy, spiritual energy, and it's going to raise the whole vibration of our planet. So people who are not on a spiritual path, or they don't know about Lord Moroga, they sometimes are like, whoa, I don't even know what's going on. So this spiritual science is pretty super easy and simple to align with, and then knowing what to do and when to do will empower you, and then it will help you to experience the opening of your third eye. If your third eye opens all at once, you'll be like burnt to a crisp. Or you will go a little cuckoo-luckoo. And I remember Dr. Pillai saying that. Someone asked many, many years ago, when I first started studying with him, I didn't know anything about anything. Third eye, what? I only have two. What are you talking about? So soon enough, I found that he took us through a deep meditation. And those people who were really wanting their third eye open, they were just like mad for it. They never came back. And it's not really funny, but it kind of is, because he said, the moment you will go into these different realms, you will feel like you are going crazy. You'll tell me, shut it, shut it. So he says, I'll teach you how to open it so you don't blink and miss it, and so you don't get overwhelmed, so you don't feel like you're totally burnt out and you can't relate to anything in life anymore. So it's those people's karmas were to do it. And, I've met them here and there over the years, coming and going on different spiritual paths. And they're always saying, oh my God, I was so scared away when we had those experiences with Dr. Pillai. I just wanted to take something a little mellow. And so I had some really wild experiences over the years. And I'm just like, I'm so glad that it doesn't continue on. So that's what you want, is to be able to integrate, digest this knowledge and use it in your everyday life. And so you are living that 200% life. You're living the 100% material, 100% spiritual, and you're not burnt out either way. So honoring Lord Moroga, Lord Narasimha. So Mars, Tuesdays, 6th moon days, so waning and waxing cycles. The stars are Kritika and Vishaka star mainly. There's other stars that are ruled by Mars, but we don't need to overwhelm. You'll find that out when you go into or start to take those Pillai Center Academy initiation courses on Lord Moroga. So there's a third eye wand, there is third eye immersion, there is Moroga immersion, a third eye awakening, spiritual warrior, awakened to warrior. There's all different levels. Over the years, Dr. Pillai has introduced various aspects of these invocations of Lord Moroga on the power days. And then he said, okay, make a course now, capture all that knowledge, and then make a course available for people to start to put into practice. And then that awakens Moroga consciousness inside of you. So you're building that third eye consciousness and not missing it, and being able to do that with grace and ease and protection as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. No, we're not going to do that yet. We want to talk about Narasimha. So Narasimha, because he's a form of Vishnu, of course, on his birthday, which is going to be on Monday, according to the Ashray calendar, in Eastern Daylight New York timing. So Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And it's a New York calendar timing. And then you can find out on the Panchang or the Horawatch, or those are apps available on Acrobat, or the calendar itself, available on both Pillai Center and Acrobat. Now, sometimes in the courses, you may get a free download to the calendar. So that's another little bonus in joining those courses. So Narasimha, because he's a form of Vishnu, he is associated with the number 5. That's Lord Vishnu's number. And Mercury is the planet that he is associated as well. So Mercury, Horus, 11th and 12th moons are Mercury-ruled, Vishnu-ruled moons. So that happens every month on the waning and waxing cycle. Then Narasimha is associated with so Wednesdays, the stars are going to be Mercury-ruled stars. So those are, let me see, I have to think about this. Revati, that's in Pisces. And then we have here, I'm just looking at the calendar. The next one is going to be Anuradha, I believe. No. Is it? No, that's so Revati, Purva Falguni, Uttar Falguni, Hasta, Chitra, Swati, Anuradha, Jyeshta, Mula, Purvashada, Uttarashada. All I can, Ashlesha is one. So Revati, Ashlesha, and Shravana, I believe. No, that's Moon. So you know what? We've got our Vedic astrologer here, Radha. Can you please post? So we've got Revati and also Ashlesha. I'm just going through the calendar and looking here. And Rod has probably already posted it. Just maybe, just a star. So correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, there it is. She's posted it. Hey, pop quiz. Just Ashleisha and Revati are ruled by Mercury. So thanks for that constipated moment on my behalf. Trying to get it out. That's why, when you start to focus on these horas, the time periods throughout the day that are ruled by the planets, and then you learn about the stars. You start with your own star first, your nakshatra, and then you find out that there's a planet that rules or is associated with that energy, and then you go and apply it to everyday life, and you get the calendar, get the hora watch, and then you kind of get excited about finding more information about these divine beings. So for me, my Mercury is like, I need to work on that Mercury. So how do you know which planets to pay attention to pray to play with in your life is when you don't know when they're happening. So having that knowledge at the tip of the tongue, or even having the Astrovedic calendar right in front of me, I had to really think about it. Oh, wow, where are those stars? So thanks to our Vedic astrologer, Radha here from Pillai Center Practice, has posted those nakshatras. So on those star days, you can be praying to Lord Narasimha because he is associated with Lord Vishnu. And then on the 11th and 12th moons, you can pray to him as well. And what do you pray for? Well, Mercury is communication, it's intuition, it's healing energy. It's also a money planet. So he will help you to find a creative way to manage your finances. So that's what I wanted to share about the power times associated with these two archetypal beings besides their birthdays. And so okay, maybe I can't participate fully in their birthdays because it's not in my budget to participate in these paid services, or maybe I will take one of the courses and get to know them. But every day there is an energy. And so Mercury is associated with Lord Narasimha, and Mars is associated with Lord Moroga. So Mercury is a Wednesday, and then is the day of the week, and then Mars is Tuesday, day of the week. So that's enough for us to kind of munch on and digest and try it out. And then you will know, hey, I am getting rid of my debt. So even put the veil, this lance, in your wallet. There are different types of veils as well. There's a crystal veil, and then I had the silver veil. So even having this little one, just pour a little water, milk juice on it, or just water is fine. And then hold on to it, put it in your wallet, and watch your credit card debt disappear. It's incredible. So I have crushed credit card debt because we all run into it. We could book a flight, and all of a sudden, my God, a couple $1,000 just went like that. So, if you need to travel, or you need to do something, or you have to go to a wedding, you got to buy your clothes and, new outfit and so on, or gift, and it's cha-ching, right? Or you use your credit card to pay for your groceries because you get points and so on. So at the end of the month, you go, oh my goodness, we bought a lot. So to get rid of that will help if you put the veil in your wallet. And then you will just start to pay more. Maybe every week you will make a payment. It's automatic payment on your credit card. Then that will bring it down really quickly, as opposed to waiting to the end of the month and sweating about it. You just put you just say, I'm going to be creative in the way I am being guided by Lord Moroga to get out of it. Or you might go and talk to your financial advisor, your banker, and just say, hey, how do I bring this down quickly? Maybe they'll transfer all of it into a lower interest rate loan or something. So don't be afraid. That's why these divine beings are coming into the earth plane now, because a lot of us have been struggling with COVID lockdown and expenses and being out of work, or the business isn't doing well, or you're just wondering how to make the ends meet. And so trust me, everybody's experiencing it. So the bankers, the financiers are trying to help us to get that sorted out and get it paid off pretty quick. So please don't be afraid. Have the courage, be brave, and go get that sorted out. Find out creative ways in which you can get rid of the debts, because that becomes an enemy to us, doesn't it? Which causes us to be fearful, causes us to be angry, upset, frustrated, and so on. So we want to get rid of all that negative congested energy and start to manage our time and energy and money wisely. So without further ado, I think I've said enough. And we will get into our practice now. So I'm going to be moving away, and we're going to be up close and personal with this altar. I'm going to turn down the lights a little bit, and then we'll get into a little bit of a meditative state. You can be closing your eyes and putting your attention internally. We'll be doing the elementalization or the puja offering when we come out of our meditation today, but we'll just get into a meditative state so we can come into more of an alignment with these divine beings. So your eyes are closed, you're putting your attention internally. You're focusing at the base of the spine because you want to get that energy. You want to move that energy up from the base of the spine, activating all the chakras. So we need the help of these divine beings to empower us. We'll start with Ganesha, who is readily available to commune with at the root chakra, at the base of the spine, and also in the pelvic region, the navel center. And he will awaken the Kundalini by opening the floodgates. So you will be awake to it. Imagine a reddish orangish light pouring down your legs into your feet and toes. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Om Gam 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 Gum 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 Gum. Now imagine a ray of light shooting up your backbone, piercing all the chakras. that are stacked up on top of one another in your spinal column of your subtle body, your energy body. We'll begin to open the chakras one by one, starting at the base of the spine. Move up to the heart center, middle of the chest. Move up to the throat. Feel the throat. Move up to the middle of your brain, the third eye. Float back down to the base of the spine. Connect with the earth element in the legs. Na, 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 na. Move into the navel center in the belly. Fill it with water. Ma, 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 ma. Move up to the heart center, middle of the chest, also down the arms and hands. Set them on fire. She, 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 she. Move up to the throat, the mouth, the nostrils. Connect with the air element or the prana, the life force. Va, 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 va. And move up to the two eyes. Keep them steady. Keep the eyeballs steady and still. Focus on the brain. Connect with the ether, the akash, or space. Ya, 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 ya. Now, imagine Dr. Pillai appearing before you in a form you're familiar with or a light. Embrace the light. Feel it being absorbed into your chakras, keeping your energy strong. Om Aim Reem Sarvalokaya Adityaya Shiva Satguru Bhavaya Swaha. Om Aim Hrim Sarvalokaya Adityaya Shiva Satguru Bhavaya Swaha. Om Aim Hrim Sarvalokaya Adityaya Shiva Satguru Bhavaya Swaha. Now, imagine your backbone as the shaft of the veil, the spear or lance of Lord Moroga. Feel the handle of this lance, the veil, as your backbone. It pierces all the chakras. The veil, the head of the veil is the middle of your brain, the third eye. The tip pierces the top of the skull, and the energy shoots out of the veil like millions of suns' light. It's intense, shaking off the karma that is no longer serving you, purifying your ego, and also detaching you from the Maya, the illusion that you're separated from God. Aum, aum. Sound. Saravana Bhavaya Namah. Feel Lord Moroga, this red being, rushing to enliven, empower the veil as your backbone and brain light up. Om Saum Saravana Bhavaya Namah. Om Saum Saravana Bhavaya Namah. Feel the heat of the veil, burning the karma, burning the ego, purifying it, diffusing the Maya. Feel the bliss coming through. Om Saum Saravana Bhavaya Namaha. 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 Keep visualizing the veil as your backbone and brain. Om Vetrivel Namaha. 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 Now focus all your attention in the middle of your brain, the third eye, the pineal gland. Feel the pulse and say the name of Moroga. Moroga, 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 and softer, silently internalize the sound of Moroga in the pineal gland, the middle of your brain, the third eye. Now, we'll call on Lord Narasimha, the lion-headed being or lion-faced being, who's a form of Lord Vishnu. Feel his energy. He's dressed in gold and blue royal colors. And he has tremendous sovereignty, royalty consciousness, empowerment, protection. Visualize him, imagine him appearing in your third eye. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Feel his power, his energy in your third eye, pulsing in the middle of your brain. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Feel the middle of your brain tingling, pulsing. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment. Peace, peace, peace. And just let go. Slowly, slowly open your eyes and be gazing forward at the images. And one by one, we're going to offer the elements. Again, aligning with the energy inside of you in the different chakras. Starting with the earth element, we'll offer the mango. Focusing on your root chakra, the base of the spine and the legs. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Mrugaya Namaha. Then we offer the water, representing the navel chakra. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Mrugaya Namaha. Then we move up to the heart center, the chest, then also the arms and hands and fingers. Feel the fire, get it fired up. Offering the ghee lamp. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Mrugaya Namaha. Then we move up to the throat, the mouth, the nostrils, where the air element or the subtle prana air can be accessed. And we'll offer the incense that cleanses the space, cleanses the air, and the ego as well. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Mrugaya Namaha. And finally, we move up to the third eye, the brain, and we offer the flowers that represent the ether or the Akash. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Narasimhaya 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 Namaha. Now we'll offer to Lord Moroga. Om Morogaya Namaha. 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 Keep focusing on your third eye. Om Morogaya Namaha. Om Morogaya Namaha. Om Morogaya Namaha. And we'll pray to Dr. Pillai. Om Ram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Ram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Ram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Make your prayer to remove enemies, diseases, debts, litigation, any kind of suffering, pain in the body, the mind, the soul, the karma, the karmic pain, financial pain, relationship pain, career pain. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pray for your third eye to open with grace and ease. Make a prayer of gratitude to Dr. Pillai for bringing you to fill up yourself, your body, mind, and soul with these teachings today. And then pray to one another, prayer of gratitude for joining, creating the space for you to dump a lot of karma. Anytime you do something spiritual, then you remove a lot of karma for yourself and for everyone that you interact with. And then we will make a prayer for those people who really need the basics: food, clothing, shelter, medicine, people to love them, education, protection. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment, peace to the world. And the practice, and thanks so much for joining, everyone. Those of you who need to jump off, have an amazing journey. I hope that we will see you during the birthday celebration for Narasimha on Monday in Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and then also Lord Moroga's birthday on the full moon on Tuesday, a day to get his blessings super easy. So hopefully this has been helpful, get you some spiritual knowledge, bust some karma, empower you to feel a little bit more uplifted than you were, and then we'll see when we see you next. So those people who are going to stay on the call, this is the part of the call where we can take some of your questions and share your experiences if you'd like here on the chat. So I'm just going to move this over if I can see it. Radha, our fabulous Vedic astrologer, longtime devotee of Dr. Pillai, and also helping out with a lot of the things that are going on at Pillai Center, has been posting links to join the different programs that we talked about. So anything that we talked about here this evening during this Powertime practice will be sent out in an email. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel, this YouTube channel. So then you will get the alerts and you'll be able to know when you can watch these different recordings, especially if you're sleeping at this point in time and you want to make sure that you find out what's happening in the week ahead and who to honor and when. So there are also the programs that are offered through Pillai Center Practice or Pillai Center Academy. There's some information about the stars that we talked about. So you're going to get all that in the newsletter that when you opt in as well. And then all the spelling of all the mantras is going to be there as well, if not on the chat. So checking out here, hi, Sucharita. I never manifest big money, only small amounts. How can I take help from Moroga and Narasimha to manifest? And it's a really great question. So we can have all these ideas or these aspirations to make more money. But if we are in debt, what happens? It takes the money away. So these are the two archetypes to honor during these two power times. So these are windows of time where the cosmos opens up and that consciousness gets birthed through the cosmos into the earth plane. We just we have to know how to grab onto it. So we've just shared a little bit about that during this Pillai Center practice. So review it and then do the mantras. These are very simple versions of the mantras, just saying their names. You don't have to think, oh, is it Om Narasimhaya? What is it? So these are very simple ways for anyone or people who've been around for a long time. We've had so many mantras. We want to just get to the basics, back to the basics. So, but if you do know the other mantras for these divine beings, then you just can get into it. And it's super easy too to find out what Dr. Pillai has shared through the free YouTubes. So all you need to do is a search for Narasimha and a search for Lord Moroga, and you can hear Dr. Pillai giving the meditation or the mantra in those YouTubes as well as the Pillai Center Academy programs. So check those out. We want to get initiated into those mantras by Dr. Pillai because he is the one who will awaken that or enliven that connection. So you get a super fast Wi-Fi, a divine Wi-Fi connection. You can get super slow divine Wi-Fi connection, right? Just like with Wi-Fi, you can get slow or super fast. So we want Dr. Pillai's grace and blessings to guide us to get the fastest. And the fastest is usually the easiest and the simplest. So do it with your heart and soul, and you stay open, and you're not about, oh, am I doing this right or wrong? Don't get too heady about it and worried about it, or that you're doing it not according to the Vedic scholars and so on. Who even knows what is right? So we know that Dr. Pillai says, make it simple. Just call on these beings with their names, even just the name, and put it in the third eye. And because that is the divine eye, we want to get into that energy. And then as you're moving the energy up, we talked about the veil. So watering the veil every day is going to wash away your karma. So people say, oh, how do I get out? How do I make more money? You got to get rid of your karma, the bad money karma, the debt karma. So that's a way to do it. So please, use the veil, rewind this. Who was that asked? Shushmita. So rewind this, and I think I said quite a bit, enough anyways, to get you going. And then do that every day, and you'll start to see the money come. So what if you don't have flowers? Miley's saying, if you don't have flowers, if you don't have a candle, if you don't have incense, if you don't have the food item, if you don't have, you'll have water. Everybody has water, and pretty much everybody has food. What I've heard over the years, if you don't have a flower, then you can use fruit. You can offer a piece of fruit, because a fruit is like the flower of the tree or the plant, right? So you can use the fruit. And this is the mango. Lord Moroga loves the mango. So does Lord Ganesha. And it's red, a little bit red, this one. And so you could use an apple, anything red you could use, but if you don't have anything red, you could use a raisin. That's red, it's grape. If you don't have the color of these archetypal beings, don't worry about it. Just do it with love. So red is the color, as you can see. That's the clue. Or it can be purple or deep red, even kind of into that blood red. Can be, orangey red. But if you don't have those color flowers and all you have is like yellow, you offer that white flower. Whatever flowers you have on hand, the divine will just say, hey, you have what you have. So you can do that, and you don't have to offer whole flowers. I go just by what the divine wants me to do, and it looked like I bought a few bouquets because they really wanted to have the flowers. So how do we know we're communing with the divine? Sometimes they will just say, hey, just whatever you have on hand. And then other times it's like, no, keep going. I want more. So the red flowers were readily available. And that's kind of strange too, because I haven't seen red flowers in the grocery store for a long time. So we get what we get. And it just happened to be, I said, oh my goodness, why so many red flowers? And I went, oh my God, Lord Moroga's birthday's coming. Yes, I will take all of them. So not that I cleaned the store out, but he wanted the red flowers. So hopefully that answers your question. If you only have water, even if you just, like I have this, this is a little container of water and then a spoon. Even if you just have a little spoon, You can pour the water on the image. Either, it can be on the veil. It can, if you don't have a yantra, you don't have a statue, you don't have a veil, you don't have anything, you can download a picture and then laminate the picture. And if you don't have time to do that before their birthdays, then you can, some people get really creative. They put a piece of glass from a picture frame. They take the glass out, put it on top of the picture of that deity, and then just pour a few drops of the water on the picture of the deity or the veil. Or like sometimes I will just put it in front. I won't actually put it on the object. I'll just put it in front. And that is an act of bringing in the water element, which is what cleanses the karma and then also hydrates. As Dr. Pillai says, hydrogen is God. So it hydrates these images. They are attracted to the water, and that makes them to come alive. So that's the metaphysics of it all. So you're very welcome, Shushmita. Thank you for such a beautiful explanation. You are welcome. And so just do it with love. Everybody has water. If that's all you have, just use that. And say the name of these archetypes. Or again, if you know different mantras, or you go and look them up with Dr. Pillai's YouTubes or his courses, then you can use those mantras as per your preference. And then do it, if you can do it during the horas that are associated with these archetypes, that's fabulous. If you can't, that's okay too. It's better to do it than to not. So, and then Radha has posted all the links on the chat as well. The new mystery school starts on Moroga's birthday. So you can still join. You can join for 1 month. And it's going to include a fire lab that Dr. Pillai, or teaching that Dr. Pillai is going to do live to initiate, to kick off that mystery school, the year-long program. If you can't imagine yourself committing to a year long, just jump into the 1 month, and then you're going to be getting a lot in that 1 month, a lot of bang for your buck. And you're going to be getting the blessings hot off the press, whatever Dr. Pillai is going to get, the message from Lord Moroga to give to everyone in that program. So it's going to include honoring Lord Moroga on his birthday in Narasimha. So check that out. It starts Tuesday, May 25th. You can join for 1 month or 12 months, and there is the link. Thank you, Radha, for posting that. Just scrolling up here, checking out. Melissa Love is saying, hi, Melissa. All things Moroga are awesome, especially these courses. So good. Great. Yeah, if you can fit it into your budget to participate in a Moroga course, OMG, they're so super fantastic. You will feel so empowered. You will feel energy like you can't believe that you even had access to. And you'll feel healthy, and you will feel empowered, and you will feel like all the things that you worried about or were concerned about, they may continue on in your life, as things do in our lives, because we want to learn from them. But all that congested negative energy gets diffused away because you are empowered by Dr. Pillai to receive that divine Wi-Fi connection through the tools or the techniques or the meditations. You immerse yourself in it, and then you're just like, whoa, I went through like a washer, and you got spun out the other side, and you're like, whoa, I never want to miss out on getting the empowerments from these archetypes. Because this, as Dr. Pillai shares, the divine beings in India, in the Indian tradition, are the only ones who people are still praying to after thousands and thousands of years. So they're alive, very readily available. Maybe our souls from previous lifetimes, we we're studying with the master, we're studying this tradition or living this tradition, and then we just are remembering it now. Even people who have been raised in India or born into a Hindu tradition, they don't get the secrets. They always say, oh my God, I learned more from Dr. Pillai than I do from my whole lifetime. And that's generally how it is, right? You go to the specialist and you learn so much more. And easy stuff. Michael is saying, does Narasimha have the ability to bring justice to people? Absolutely. So check out Pillai Center services. Just read about. Even if you don't think, oh, I'm not going to participate in it. Because that's mainly what we do. We scroll down, we look at the price, and we go, no. And, or wow, yes, I can do it. So whatever it is for you, just go and read it. And that will empower you. And then you will know, okay, I need to pray to these beings to bring justice into the situation. There's always a solution to the spiritual solution to every problem. Exactly. Michael is saying we're getting back to normal in California finally. Awesome. Good for you guys. I've been communicating with people from Florida, and they're always, oh, we'll pray for you, Sister Rita, to come out of lockdown. So yeah, well, I'm okay. I think people who have been studying with Dr. Pillai throughout COVID and have been participating in the free services, there's so many free services and programs and courses and these spontaneous live events. Dr. Pillai has done so many spontaneous live events this year, more so than ever. And he just said, we have to keep people positive and empowered and optimistic throughout this really bleak time. Which can be very confusing for people. So Lulu Light is saying, so powerful and visually absolutely spectacular. Glory to Babaji. Thank you so much. Yes, and thank you. You're welcome. Lulu. So I think we've shared quite a bit, and I've gone through the chat and seen all the comments and seeing, hey, there's people from all around the world. Great. If we can keep this global network up, then we will create a net for the divine, to capture the divine, to come in, and connecting the dots for the divine will light up everybody and all around the world. Collectively, we can be like a Christmas tree. We'll just light up and light up the whole world. This is the time. So Dr. Pillai, when I first started studying with him, I knew nothing about anything. And he just said, if you follow my teachings, your life will be an adventure. It will be adventurous. That's what he said. And I was like, I'm in. And it has been. And going through ups and downs, like prior to that, was a nightmare. And now going through the ups and downs of life, it's just so super smooth and empowering as well. So we don't even know what our potential is until it gets awakened or brought to our attention and some knowledge comes through, whatever he has shared with us or whatever the different teachers are sharing on behalf of Dr. Pillai. To anyone who comes, we just want you to know this is an incredible opportunity always to choose. Make the choice in your life to come out of your harms and hurdles and come out of that rut, like thinking you're stuck in a rut. You're never stuck. Just come and participate, enjoy, read, educate yourself about these spiritual practices, and something will wake up inside of you and start to crave your attention, and then you will fulfill it, and you will always have. I always thought, oh my God, how am I going to afford this education? And it's been a no-brainer. Every time I do participate in a course or in a spiritual practice or some proxy services, then I'm not only doing it for myself, it's collectively we're doing it for the whole world, because it is being done for the whole world. So we're sponsoring these huge yagyas, they call them, these services that you can't go to. Not even during COVID, you can't go to all the different places where the empowerments are happening. It's just physically not possible because they can be hundreds or even thousands of miles apart. But it's all been orchestrated through Ashurved Pillai Center, the staff in India. And then they have access to all these power spots and all the priests and the Vedic specialists. And so they're just like, yeah, let's make it rock. And they're very happy when people from all around the world they're calling out the different names of all the different countries and the different traditions, and that's very exciting for them. So it's a win-win all around. All right, so thanks everyone for joining. Please do check out the offerings that are posted to the chat by the links, and then trust that Lord Moroga, Lord Narasimha are going to awaken inside of you, align you with their fabulous birthing of that energy, and it's going to get birthed inside of you, and you're going to do a little dance, and you're going to have a lot of fun, knowing that thereafter, for all those 365 days until we meet again on their birth, that birthing the consciousness in, that's going to be cleansing the karma. They're going to be your BFFs forever, your best friends forever. So God bless you all on behalf of Dr. Pillai and Pillai Center, Ashurved. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you when we see you next. Namaste.